Hi, this is Mr. Hood, and we're going to change these fractions to percents. Let's take a look at the first one. Step 1. Check the denominator. And we're asking ourselves, can it be easily changed to 100? And in fact, in this case, it can. We would do so by multiplying it by 5. So if we're going to multiply the denominator by 5, let's go ahead and multiply the numerator by 5 as well. And we end up with that 7/20 is equivalent to 35 over 100, or 35%. Let's take a look at the second one. Again, let's take a look at the denominator. Can it be easily changed to 100? And again, in this case, it can, and we do so by dividing it by 3. So if we're going to do that to the denominator, let's do that same thing to the numerator, and we end up with 72 over 100, or 72%. Now, unfortunately, not every denominator is easily changed to a denominator of 100. So when you can't neatly and easily change the denominator to 100, here's our plan B. We're going to divide. In other words, we're going to take this fraction and we're going to convert it to a decimal number. Then we're going to take that decimal number and convert it to a percent. So 3/7 is really just 3 divided by 7. And now it's time to do some long division. Now, for the sake of time, I've done the long division ahead of time, and we end up with 0.4285. But if you need a little help with long division, there's another video in the series here that you can check out. Now, how do we change 0.4285, or 4,285 10,000ths, by the way? How do we change that to a percent? Remember, we slide the decimal point 2 to the right, which leaves us with 42.85%. But if your teacher were to ask you to round it to the nearest tenth of a percent, you might write it as 42.9%. Or if you were asked to round to the nearest whole number, or whole percent, I should say, it would be 43%.